what we've done with CleanWell is these products, the antimicrobial in these products, is developed from a blend of plant essential oils that are found throughout the environment, the same environment that we evolved in. They have been around us as long as we have been around, and this is how nature solves the problem.
Right, and it's very, very different from a Purell, for example, which is around everywhere. Tell us why is it so different, and why is it so much better to use than something like a Purell?
So Purell and a lot of the alcohol-based hand sanitizers, and before I even start, I want to make it clear that whenever possible, hand washing is your best alternative. Mm-hmm. A hand sanitizer is there when you're out in the community, you're concerned that you might have picked something up on your hands by touching something that's touched by a lot of people before you're going to get to wash your hands, and that's a good place to use a hand sanitizer. The issue with alcohol is it was developed, again, for use in the professional environment, in hospitals and in healthcare and in food service. It was never really crafted as a consumer product, and certainly it was never really crafted as a product that should be used by children. So the biggest issue with alcohol is that it's fairly harsh on the skin, and most people don't like it. And because they don't like the way it feels, they don't really use it. Probably less than 1% of the general population are regular users of alcohol-based hand sanitizers, and most of these people are already regular hand washers, so the public health impact of it is really minimal. If we want to have an impact on public health, we need things that are safe and effective to be used by everybody. So what we've done, again, is build this around essentially the way nature has done it. These plants that we get this from, thyme, oregano, are some of the hardiest plants on the planet. And what I would like to introduce at this point is a new metaphor. Instead of war on germs, because nature really doesn't do war, how about we learn to live in balance in this entire world, including the microbial world? We have bacteria all over our skin which keep our skin healthy. When we treat our skin with a 62% alcohol solution, we essentially kill everything on the surface layer, and it goes deeper than that. And it's a fixative, so it dries the skin out, which means that it leaves it open to all sorts of other problems later on. The third problem with alcohol is that little 2-ounce bottle is a toxic dose to children. It is the number one cause for calls to poison control. Uh-huh. And a lot of the products that are formulated for use by children have fragrances and flavors in them that make them smell like candy.
Right. Sure. That's a setup for disaster right there. Getting back to living in balance, tell us, I love that you had that hand washing ritual, and I wanted you to share it with everybody because I just think it's so great to take 30 seconds out and...
Sure. Yeah. Everyone has heard this, sing happy birthday when you wash your hands. And nobody, certainly adults don't do this because it makes you feel silly and foolish. But in fact, I'd like to suggest the following ritual, which is, it actually feels good to wash your hands. And so instead of singing happy birthday, take 5 or 10 slow, deep breaths. Calm yourself. Try to get into the moment. Enjoy the sensation of what you're doing. Don't worry about what you're going to do right after you're done washing your hands. That will still be there as soon as you're done. You'll lower your blood pressure. You'll lower your heart rate. You'll actually find yourself better prepared to deal with whatever comes next, and you'll have clean hands when you do it.
Thank you. That's fantastic advice. And thank you so much for joining me today. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We've been talking to Dr. Larry Weiss, founder of CleanWell, and you can find CleanWell in many stores, including Whole Foods. And where else can we find it?
You can find it at Target. You can find it at Whole Foods. You can find it at Walgreens. It's all over in the natural channel.
That's great. It smells great. Thank you. Well, that's my show for today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope the show gave you a new perspective on hand washing and the right kind of soap to use for you and your kids. Now stay tuned for Smart Green Travel with Jerry Hart. I'd like to thank my producer, Heidi Hartley, and thanks to Helga Hellberg, host of An Organic Conversation, for creating The Green Morning. For podcasts and more information on my show, visit yoursupernaturallife.com. You can also download the show on iTunes. If you'd like more information about transforming your home into a safe haven, read my book, Supernatural Home. You could find it on Amazon or on my website, supernaturalmom.com. See you here next week. Remember, have a supernatural life. I'm Beth Greer. How you